Ladies and gents, home Suji reaction. This is how did the USSR react to JFK's assassination? Short animated documentary by the channel History Matters. Ooh yeah, I don't know how I missed this video. I should have done this way before all the other videos I did, because this is a really interesting topic, right? Like, how did the USSR reacted around this time? This was a massive event that basically not just for the United States and USSR, but entirely globally basically had ripple effect, right? So it will be really interesting to see how USSR reacted to this. When JFK shook off his mortal coil, not much is discussed about the international reaction to it. I mean, yeah, seriously. I mean, this is what I found out with this channel. This channel tackles certain topics like we see some event, and obviously we talk about the event, where it happened and what's it related to, but not what happened in the background or what happened in some other place, right? Nobody talks about those topics, and this channel definitely does it. So it's really interesting to see which is the video I saw about how Japan, right? Like after the bombing, how Japan reacted. Nobody talks about that, right? So it was an interesting video. So this is kind of similar to that. So yeah. So how did America's rival in the Cold War react to his death, and find out more. Okay. So basically, I think just last year, right, in the COVID times, basically, where all of us are in home and just swiping through YouTube, right? So I saw a clip on YouTube about an actual clip of assassination with every gory detail, and I'm like, what the fuck? YouTube doesn't even let you swear on their video that much, right? I can sometimes get away with because of my accent, right? YouTube doesn't pick it up that much. But if you put anything sensitive on YouTube, and they just go crazy, right? Even if something come close to sensitive, and if it's not, YouTube still pick that up as a sensitive. I bet this video is gonna get flagged as yellow just because of the title alone. So how the hell there was a video just last year, I think, with a whole gory detail about the whole event? I saw that and like, what the fuck? Right? I'm sure in a month or so that video would have been taken down, right? Somebody would have reported it eventually. But how did it get past the whole checking system is ridiculous. But yeah, that's a really fucked up event that happened, right? Everybody, obviously, at first you would like, holy shit, that's it, right? It was a Cold War time, so you would think like, holy shit, that's it. This is the first provocation. Cold War is no longer Cold War. The shit is going down. Because around this time, everybody was just in that, panic state because of the bombs, right? Because of the nukes and things. That's why the Cold War was Cold War, right? Nobody can afford directly go to war. The result would be catastrophic. So the first reaction of people would be, especially the people in power in USA and USSR too, like just panic, like, holy shit, this is it. Something's gonna go down. War's about to erupt. Because this is, if you're gonna assassinate the leader of a country at that point, yeah, that's a war. So, if obviously USSR didn't do it, right? We know who did it, right? Obviously there's conspiracy theory behind that too, but we know who did it. So USSR didn't do it, but the USSR must be in panic mode, like, holy shit, what if they think that we did it? So it's gonna be an interesting video. Remember, we'll flag Marikson. Don't forget to subscribe, so I know which type of videos to react to more. I love History Matters, so definitely comment down if you want to do more History Matters video. I'm trying to create another channel, like I said, right? I really have to find the name and, I guess what content I'm going to put it there, right? I would really think it through. But I'm going to split my content up. I'm going to upload some videos on this channel. I'm going to upload some videos on that channel. So I'll definitely tell you where I make a channel. I wanted to, separate history and science and any general knowledge type of video in that channel. While in this channel, it's going to be mostly like entertainment games. But yeah, we'll see. So let's watch this one.
When JFK was assassinated in November 1963, the entire world was taken by surprise. JFK was assassinated in November 1963.
Okay, wait a minute. Who is the number? So is that somebody else just like, oh, now I'm the president? Is that it?
The entire world was taken by surprise. Yet one aspect of the assassination not often discussed is how the USSR, the United States' rival in the Cold War, felt about it.
Yeah.
So how did they? How did the USSR react to JFK's assassination? Well, news of events reached the USSR mere minutes after they occurred in the USA, and the wider Soviet population was in a state of shock. In the halls of power, this shock was also present, and one of the first things that the General Secretary of the USSR, Nikita Khrushchev, did was to make a statement announcing the assassination and giving his condolences to the USA, the new President Lyndon B. Johnson, and JFK's widow, Jackie Kennedy. Publicly, the image was one of calm solidarity with the United States.
Wait a minute. First of all, did they realize immediately who did it, right? then it makes sense. But if they took time investigating before they realize who did it, imagine a leader of USSR coming to you and like, telling you, I'm sorry for your loss, and you're thinking it's probably him did it. What is your emotion at that point, right? And in 2016, right, I mean, when everybody just, every agency basically came out saying that Russia meddled in the elections in 2016. Everybody just, point blank, just blame Russia, end to end. I don't know if it was Russia's fault or not. Definitely evidence suggests it was, but I don't know. I don't know much detail about that. I don't know what happened to that investigation or whatever, where it led. But that's about the election. What was the feeling around the JFK's assassination time? How much pressure it would have been like, oh, it's definitely Russia. It has to be Russia, right? And then, Khrushchev comes to USA and just offers condolences. What was the people's reaction at that point?
States. Behind the scenes, it was one of blind panic. The KGB immediately launched an investigation into whether or not it or any of its agents or contacts had anything to do with the events, and the answer was no. And the upper echelons of the Soviet government would have been comforted when an American, Lee Harvey Oswald, was arrested. What's that? He's a Marxist who used to live in the USSR? Oh boy. The KGB investigated again and discovered that they never at any point tried to recruit him whilst he lived there, since he was seen as unreliable. The USSR opted to share all of its files on Oswald and was quick to offer their assistance publicly because they really didn't want to be blamed, and Khrushchev wasn't too keen on the idea of nuclear war. For the Soviet Union...
USA bombed Japan, right? They know this. So their image of US is like that fucking trigger happy. They're like, holy shit, what if Moscow gets bombed next? Oh god. And the best thing about this is they're like, what the fuck? Did we do it? This is some next level shit. Right now there is a thing, right, where Hollywood movies exaggerate. Whenever you see some kind of like CIA or any spy type of movie, James Bond, whatever shit, and we all like, oh come on, that's way too exaggerated. None of that shit, none of it's that competent. None of it is that level of spy work that goes on today, right? Every government and every spy agency is somewhat incompetent, something like CIA or something. Especially with all the leaks, it's like, if you're so good at spying stuff, why are there leaks and shit? Sure, I mean, that could be true right now, but you need to realize that during the Cold War time, it wasn't exaggerated. The spy shit was spy shit at the next level, right? And just the funny part of this is the USSR going, wait, what the fuck, did we do it? Khrushchev just walking down the KGB's door is like, wait a minute, who the fuck was that? Who did it? Yeah, KGB's like, it wasn't us, but okay, let's ask some smaller team of our own, like sub-team of our own KGB. Maybe they did it, like they have the power. That is the so funniest thing, man. They had to actually investigate their own agencies just to know if they did it or not.
And its leadership, the days after the assassination were some of the most dangerous it had ever lived through, barring the obvious. The KGB believed that JFK had been assassinated by the far right, who would then blame the USSR, invade Cuba, and then start a nuclear war. Some higher-ups didn't believe this version of events, but were still concerned that a leaderless USA could see a rogue general fire a nuclear weapon at Moscow in vengeance. As such, the USSR took the position of a friendly and open assistant with anything the Americans wanted. And as a result of this uncertainty, the entire Soviet military was placed on high alert and preparations for war were made throughout the entire Eastern Bloc. Soviet leadership also had reservations concerning JFK's successor, LBJ, since they had no idea what his personal opinions were. Was he going to have strict policies concerning the USSR, or was he going to be open to cooperation? At the time, they didn't know, and not knowing made them very uncomfortable. It wasn't long until they got their answer, when LBJ blamed a communist conspiracy rooted in Cuba for the assassination and promptly escalated the Cold War. For a brief moment, the Cold War had ground to a halt, with East and West united in grief.
Yeah, Lyndon B. Johnson. I mean, I kind of see that, right? How his policies were. But alright. There are many conspiracies around this event. Like some even say that, this only reason to do this, whoever people devised the plan to do this just so there could be a war between USA and USSR. And the events that happened afterwards, especially with how, Lyndon Johnson basically blamed USSR and started to, escalate things in Cuba and shit. You can kind of see what their point is. But then again, it's just like seeing the pattern, right? An event happened and then many opportunities can open up. And people can exploit those opportunities. Doesn't mean that somebody devised the plan in advance just to have that opportunities, right? So conspiracy theories are just that, conspiracy theories, right? So, I mean, what the answer we know right now, like what was the motivation behind this, that's the answer we have. Is that 100% true? Who the fuck knows? And now, I guess, trail is so cold, yeah. So I guess you can have conspiracy theories, but there is no basis behind it.
For a US president. However, international politics waits for no man, and it wasn't long until the Cold War was back on track again. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and a special thanks to my Patreon supporters, James Bisonet, John Luce, 3 Plays, The Lightfoot, Winston...
So there we go. How did the USSR react? Panic, right? I mean, I kind of seen that as soon as I saw the title, like knowing the global politics, basically first thing that would happen is USSR would panic. Even if they didn't do it or they did do it, doesn't matter. The point is they would be blamed somewhat because they're the direct rival. The panic would be there, like what if US are attacked right now? What if the Cold War is done and it's no longer just a Cold War, it's a point blank war? There's always going to be panic like that, right? So that's understandable. The funny thing was they actually investigated themselves to know if they did it or not, which means there was so many rogue agency among them, Black Ops type of agency that didn't directly answer to the chain of command. They don't know if they did it or not, so they had to actually investigate, which is some fucked up thing. So I guess games and movies are not that far-fetched. But yeah. Alright, well, that was how did the USSR react to JFK's assassination by the channel History Matters. If you like my reaction, don't forget to like, subscribe, and yeah, I guess I'll see you next time.